Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders, great millstone, who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth in the same Spirit and in sound doctrine. Lord willing that you all continue in the same Spirit and be diligent and sincere. Shalom to the Akwath, believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is just going to go into the point of the Athenians, Lord willing I'm pronouncing it right, who love to hear something new. And that kind of made me think of, Israelites, right? They love to hear something new or a new doctrine, right? Something that they came across, something that is smooth saying, right? Something that's not strict, something that's more easy instead of being true or honest. So Lord willing, we can cover, a few precepts and you can actually learn something from this lesson that don't come in this thing having itchy ears for many teachers that's teaching all different things. Like, what I mean by that as in you watching this teacher and then this teacher is about to teach the same lesson that person teach, but they both believe in something different. One might believe John the Baptist not in the truth, and the other one don't believe John the Baptist is not in the truth. Somebody might teach the other person that actually believe John the Baptist is in the truth, might teach the MOTB is the charagma of physical device, and the one that don't believe John the Baptist is or was in the truth is going to teach that the MOTB is spiritual or sent, right? And that's going to build a lot of confusion. So you want somebody that's going to keep your eye single, straight to the target, let alone you want to be getting corrected. You want for somebody that is teaching to have you in the spirit of having a readiness mind to hear the word and to search the scriptures daily if it was so. And real teachers that I will believe would tell you, don't just take my word for it. Open up your Bible, and get a notebook, write the notes down, the precepts, and go read them even for yourself, right? So Lord willing, again, this is edifying. The first verse we're going to actually deal with is a key point before I read this Acts the 17th chapter. We can go to Exodus 32 in verse 1. Here's what it reads. It says, "And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. And Aaron said unto him, Break off the golden earrings, which are in the ears of your wives, and of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings, which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. They weren't content with Yahweh's command. They wanted a new form of worship, right? And the Lord didn't want us to serve or bow down or praise another god. Damn sure a dumbass idol, a calf, right? A calf that's most likely a clean animal that you gonna eat. You giving praise to this one and said, this is the God that got us out of Egypt. What about you saying that this is the God that sent those plagues? But there's no verse on that calf doing those things, right? This is how delusional you know, Jake is, right? And really, you Jake that's in the world, right? Or Jake that don't have or care for the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So now, let's actually go back to Acts the 17th chapter. And I believe we're just going to read 16 down to 21, and then we'll hop into the precepts. So this is Acts 17, verse 16. Now, while Paul waited for the Athens, his spirit was stirred up in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue of the Jews, and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him. And some said, what will this babbler say? Others some, he seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushai in the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears, and we would know therefore that what these things mean. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing, right? And this is the same dumb spirit Jake is in, hearing something new, right? You got all these, I was a Christian, now I'm a Baptist, or I'm a Protestant, and they all deliver a little different, but who's truly edifying and building you up? Even when we go into Acts, the 7th chapter, like the time we in now, because Ezekiel 37, Israel, is scattered four corners of the earth. So it's very important that we build the Israelites on history, right? On where things started, right? To get us to Yahushai, in the heavens with the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, right? We need to know these things. We need the sense of it, right? What is it? Romans 8 and 16. How is our spirit going to bear witness that we are, the children of the Most High, right? This is why you need to be edified, built up, right? Planted and watered, right? So let's get these other precepts and then we'll close. Let's go back to the Old Testament. Let's go to the prophet Isaiah, the 30th chapter, in verse 9 to 10. This is what it reads. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit, right? And these are the people of Israel. And if we was to look at Jake now in 2025, Jake is too caught up in rah, 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 ass shaking. Of course, we're men. We gonna like booty. You gonna like these things. Kids, us grown-ups, we like games, women, all this emotion and feeling, all this other extra stuff, right? Those that are of the world, that goes back into that Isaiah 1 and 3, right? Israel don't consider. You 2/3, you of the world, you don't consider this truth, right? You want to hear something smooth, right? Let's even see how this is worded in the NLT. Verse 10 in the NLT, it says, they tell the seers, which a seer in 1 Samuel 99 was, what they was called back then, which was the prophets, and a seer is a visionary. So they tell the seers, stop seeing visions They tell the prophets, don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things. Tell us lies. You know? But the Lord didn't send the men of the Lord to lie. Right? He sent us to be bold. Right? I want to get something that I might be bringing out later today, but let's get it. I think it's Ezekiel 36 verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesied unto the mount of Israel, the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh Shemashai power, because the enemy have said against you, ha ha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Now, this is a key point going back into history. Now, when we go into the 37th chapter, the Israelites is dead bones, right? Especially when you fulfill Revelations, the 11th chapter, verse 7 to 10, where we're dead in these streets without the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But now that Yahweh Shem Shai have allowed this truth to come out and the men of the Lord to be on the highways and byways, shaking their hand, lifting up their voice, we supposed to be telling Jake the history on how the heathen, laughed and they took your land. Even in the time when Babylonians was, bringing you into captivity and going through your land, ravishing the women and the maids in the land of Israel and Judah. Edom went behind the Babylonians and got the refugees. It's like, hey, y'all forgot these refugees over here, right? And they were excited. You can go into Obadiah, the first chapter, and you could read onto that too. I even did some history and looked at it too. And then even more when you go into Ezekiel 35, I believe 10 to 12, you see that, of course, they parted the land. And then when we look at future, the time we are now, you see the Ishmaels and the Edomites in that land, But this is what we want to tell Jake. You're not in your homeland. We want to build Jake and give them right teaching and feed them, right? Rebuke them, shake the hand. Some people are not gonna like to hear it, but this truth is not meant to be decorated to be all pretty. This truth is supposed to be for you to be edified and to be builded and to come back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? So now, let's try to go to another one. So again, when you look at the Isaiah 39 and 10, Israel wanted a different doctrine than the straight truth. So they wanted them to speak smooth things, right? Like a damn pimp. This is 2 Timothy, the 4th chapter, verse 3 and 4. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. They shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Right, just like the Athenians, Salaki, Israelites often looked for itching ears, teachings, something fresh, something exciting, something different, right? Like what them pastors do, oh yes, hallelujah, or some feel good, prosperity, money, money, money. I was watching this video at work that my brother sent me that, it's more women in the church than men. And then some of the women in the church is asking, man, I've been putting Jesus first, and I haven't been getting into a relationship. No man stepped up to me, but through the Spirit, the Lord is setting a lot of our people for that sacrifice, but the Lord is preparing for the worst to come, where some of y'all women are going to be humble, right? We supposed to be teaching and telling a woman that she should be under a head, really under a man of understanding, right? A man, you should be choosing your wife carefully, especially if you're a man of the Lord, right? But everybody wants itching ears. They want something fresh. They want something exciting, different. Right? When you go into prophecies, oh nah, brother, I'm not into that yet. Let's just speak about Jesus, keep it here. When you trying to go into the name, oh nah, now you're going too deep. Some people want to be comfortable. But the Lord didn't set us to be comfortable. We in motherfucking captivity, man. Right? Let's go to Hebrews, the 13th chapter, in verse 9. It says, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines, for it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. Right? So this is a warning not to chase after doctrines. Let's even get that, Salaki. Let's even get that same verse in the NLT for you guys. So when you get an NLT, it says, so do not be attracted by strange new ideas. Your strength comes from the Most High's grace, not from rules about food, which don't help those who follow them. Right? So don't be attracted by strange new ideas. Right? Just like the point with the Pharisees washing their hands before you eat. Imagine how many people was afraid just because the Pharisees made that up. But that was a tradition of men. Right? What did the Lord give us? So now, let's actually go to the Old Testament again. Let's get Jeremiah, the 6th chapter. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. It says, thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? Walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. Instead of walking in the old, true way, Israel wanted something different, right? This is why when we started to cleave to the nations, it was more easy for us, right? Because their ways, it's like abominable and wicked ways is more attractive, right? But when people start looking at what the Lord wants us to do, it start to look strict. That's why even more, when we talk about the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, he said they're not grievous, right? The Lord talking about not eating pork. Even when you in America, that's what the number one daily thing being pushed, or lobster or shrimp is always being pushed, right? But it's an easy change, substitute, right? Okay, instead of pork hot dog or a sausage, you might get beef. Instead of pork bacon, you might get turkey bacon or beef bacon or chicken bacon, right? It's not that hard, right? Instead of eating lobster, crab, and shrimp, which is abomination and disgust, right? You're going to eat what? Snapper, right? Fish with fins and scales, right? It's nothing wrong with that. And when it comes to things that we can do, a woman can cover up her asset, right? You getting attention covered or non-covered, but for you want to do it because the Lord wanted you to be in modest apparel and have a modest behavior as a daughter of Zion. You're supposed to be more precious than rubies. Rubies, diamonds, gold, silver, all those things are covered. Dirt, right? They're covered. You got to go search for them, and the same with the men, right? We shouldn't want anything new because the Lord established a solid foundation. So that's why it's always good to walk in the old way. Like if I'm a man, so I should be following the men of the Lord, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Yes, we all fall short. We're going to slip because we in this flesh. But those men, the just men, always get back up. They're going to always do things that's pleasing to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That makes a lot of sense, So just to sum that up, The same way the Athenians always wanted some new thing, the Israelites through history showed that same spirit. We did, and we still doing it today, right? You got Jake saying they're a Christian Israelite, you know? Or like, some of us, we joke around and say they're individualites, right? Um, and of course, the Israelites, our brothers and so-called sisters, right, not being satisfied with Yahweh Shema Shai's pure word by chasing after new doctrines, which some of these brothers that's making new doctrines are Israelites. But that shows that a lot of our people have an itchy ear and they don't have discernment, right? Yeah, they trying to feed their belly, but not their heart, their mind, right? To literally, this is another reason why prophecy, end time prophecy, is very important. Yes, it's scary, but it's very important so you don't drift away, right? So the black Latinos and natives want to hear new doctrine, idols, and teachings that sound pleasing. That's why the prophets and apostles constantly warn Israel to hold fast to the truth and not sway away, right? You want to hold fast to which is good. And the Lord is having us do the same thing in 2025. What is it? 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter. They misuse the prophets, right? And they're doing that right in front of their face, right? You elders, you what? 40, 30, 20, 18, you teens on down, y'all misuse the prophets because Esau made so many distractions. He found a way to keep you comfortable, right? There's always something new coming out. And then you got Jake that come in this thing, and then now they looking for money. Now their eyes is triggered by the things of this world. Now they're thinking like, oh man, so I believe in this, but how can I win? How can I win something on this side, right? So, Lord willing, you brothers and sisters can keep your eyes single. Stop having the itching ear for new doctrine and having an itchy ear for every damn teacher. Make sure the teachers that you listening to are both teaching the same thing. It doesn't matter if he teaching this lesson, that lesson, but they're in an agreement, right? Unity is an agreement, oneness, likeness in mind, right? And you'll know that if you're listening to a group, right? And brothers that are sincere will bring in sound doctrine, 100% truth. But with that, all praise to Yahweh, Shem Al Shai, Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect. In the same spirit, Shalom to the Aqua, the believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing that you continue to be diligent, sincere, and continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent, virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in faith. Shalom, Shalom, Abba, Abba.